Welcome to the Collingwood Rant. I'm Sly.
And We're Not Alone, Spook.
And you are...
Alison.
So we've got a
Spook.
special guest, Alison, who follows the Dogs. So we thought it'd actually be interesting to have someone from the opposite perspective. So, let's start off with you, Alison.
Yes.
Which is your favourite Indiana Jones movie?
Oh, this is awkward.
So it's like, have you watched the show at all?
No.
Oh, I'll go to you, Spook. Spook, going into this game, what did you expect?
I don't like Disney movies.
You're gonna be the So what did you expect? Half the team out?
I was expecting...
Draw against the Dogs?
Oh,
The Dockers?
I probably had some morbid belief that we would win.
They fixed that,
but
didn't they?
I was wrong.
What do you see the Dogs? I mean, you were saying earlier that they've had a pretty good last 4 weeks. So they went in with some form, played at that shithole Marvel.
We had to travel again.
Yeah, well, we're playing a home game at their home ground.
Why wasn't it?
Can you travel to a home game?
I don't know.
Yeah. Sorry, you were saying?
No, I was just saying, why was it a home game for Magpies at Marvel? Because that was a bit weird.
Ask Craig Kelly.
My dad and I couldn't get tickets.
Well, there must have been something important on the MCG on Friday night. What was it? Was it Dell out?
No, I don't know. All right, let's go to you, Alison. Where have you seen the Dogs this year? Because they've been all over the place.
I saw some at the beach.
Honestly, I've kind of gone into every game not
Honestly.
knowing.
It's okay.
Not knowing. And last week, I was quite impressed with them in terms of when they played Geelong and they came back in the last quarter. It was the first game that I'd seen them play 4 quarters. So coming into this game with
I've seen my
Collingwood...
team play 4 quarters every week.
Just not in that order.
Yeah, so coming into this game, I just kind of went open-minded and I thought, you know what, the Bulldogs probably have a chance here, but...
So what do you expect? I mean, it's in the Collingwood side. So Collingwood hasn't, I think, been that good the last month.
Well, there could be a reason for that.
Yeah.
Well, half their side's out, so that...
That could be another
Had to
reason.
dig into the
The
reserves.
wrong half, yeah. So, I mean, so what were your expectations going into the game?
Look, I
Not
said
you, hers.
Well, you looked in his direction.
That's right. Take the glasses
I
off, Roy
have
Orbison.
to... I went into it thinking that they'd have a chance, considering Collingwood had half their side out, really. Though the first quarter, I was a little worried. I seriously thought I was going to come into this podcast.
I mean, it's curious because we've spoken previously. So you're happy with Luke Beveridge coaching at the moment, or in general?
It's been a little... it's been a little up and down for me. I mean, at some point I was like, I don't know, because he kept reverting back to this game style that just didn't make sense for me. I'm no coach, but just continuing.
But you've said that about him too.
Were you surprised when you looked in the coaching box that he was hiding behind a plant?
Well, yeah.
He was peeking over the top?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I have quotes. I mean, to me, privately, you've called him an angry little man.
No, I have not.
You said he has
on the notes.
Yeah.
Where?
You said he has a Napoleon complex.
Your notes...
You said he had a Napoleon complex.
No, where are you?
You said his nickname is Dildo Doggins.
No.
Okay. I think you deny a little bit too fiercely for it not to be true for me. So...
I would not say that about someone.
Okay.
I may not like him as a coach right now, but...
Oh, okay, so
The truth's out now.
So it came to it ultimately.
I've met him personally.
Did you tell him to get up when you spoke to you?
He was a little shorter.
So first quarter, Collingwood obliterated you, missed opportunities.
Well, I honestly just didn't know what was going on in the first quarter. There was about 4 50s in 4 minutes. I don't think the players knew.
No, it's those guys in green tend to confuse things.
Well, they were a lot more stricter in the rule, just in all the rules. I mean, they tightened the holding the ball rule, but it seemed they were just playing everything for the most part. You know, they were a lot more hair trigger for pretty much all the rules, because the 50s were just insane. They just paid them really quickly. That stand rule's the fucking stupidest things in existence.
Yeah, I still don't get what the point of it is.
Well, there was one against Sidebottom where, like, he started to approach the mark, but then he said, I better not, because then I'll be called to stand. So they started to pull back.
Yeah, which you can't do.
Which you're going
to impinge on the guy's mark at any rate.
Yeah.
So either way, you're giving away a fruit.
Well, that's the insane thing. Is like I would have thought that rules are there to stop players cheating or impinging on the ball carrier, but this one, now, like, you're backing away, so you're in no way impacting the ball carrier, and it fucks you over. Anyway, so first quarter, Collingwood obliterated Dogs in terms of the play for about the first 20 minutes. Dogs slowly got back into the game. Second quarter was a little bit more even. That right side seemed the scoring end.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the
Which
goals
end of the ground would that be?
the right end.
Yeah, but what's it called?
Oh, is that the locket end?
I wouldn't fucking know.
Is it still locket end? I don't know. The Iron Man end?
Who's the other end?
It's the Marvel end.
Commentary end? I haven't been there in years.
No, I don't know.
It's too far. It's in a whole nother state.
The state
It's
of shit.
only
We always
across
struggle.
the bridge
Which bridge? The
Which
Golden
bridge?
Gate?
from Southern Cross.
So what do you think as the game went on? Because Collingwood was, not you, her, I'm looking at her.
Yeah, so
So Collingwood,
yeah.
I mean, sort of seemed to have a little bit of control over the game. It seemed like there'd always be like a 1 to 2 goal margin, but Collingwood felt like they were in control. The one interesting thing was like we were 5-7. And then when, if you look at it, we kicked 7-2 for the rest of the game. So we actually, that first quarter, we just pissed away everything. After that, we were accurate. We just ran out of opportunities. And they were relatively accurate, but then started blowing their opportunities until they overran us, bastards. All right. So, were you comfortable watching Collingwood obliterate your VFL team?
Well, she said she was on the couch.
Yeah, I was.
Wearing slippers, if you don't mind.
I was actually in my Western Bulldog dressing gown.
Spook usually wears that.
Not yours.
Yeah.
Another one.
As I said, I was a little worried coming out of the first quarter, but the second quarter, when they started to settle a little bit, I could tell that Collingwood were blowing their chances coming into that forward line. But the Bulldogs...
Jeez, that's a shock for us.
I was a little worried because the Bulldogs had 3 tall forwards and they were all going up for it at once, and I'm like...
What's tall?
What's a tall
forward?
Can you describe one for me?
Yeah, I had an issue with that, and they finally got their shit together, and
Alright, so let me jump in there.
Separated.
So Spook, watching this, seeing guys like Vital, Sullivan, Ash Johnson.
I didn't see him.
He was
he missing poster.
he was on the milk carton saying, "Have you seen
Wanted.
this?"
A position.
I actually thought he looked the right. Like, I mean, I did a few little things, but I thought he looked the right at times. But he's really struggling. But like, you have this team with just so many unknown quantities. Were you comfortable or confident that they could actually hold on, given what happened against Fremantle?
Well, I think... Look, I said I was stupidly optimistic that I thought we'd hold on even at three-quarter time. We were 2 goals up. Dogs looked a little bit lost at that point. I thought we'll just probably try and maintain the lead. I did make the joke about that we'll probably go into time-saving mode pretty much at the first bounce. But it was a different type of time they were saving. I think, though, you're now seeing 2 weeks of it that the younger brigades just doesn't have 4 quarters in them, and we're slowing. Slowing, not so much at the senior level, but at that next tier, and that's having an impact on the games. We've surrendered a 27-point lead. The week before, we were 842 goals up in this one. Alison was in tears. I could hear her from wherever I'm living.
So sad.
We just sort of stopped, and that seems to be more than coincidence that it's happened 2 weeks in a row now.
Yeah, I think one thing in this game too, and Tony Shaw made a good point, is McRae decided not to try and have a run with player with Bont. He just said, just shoot it out with Nick Dacos.
Well, Pendles would have probably had that role if he was playing.
Well, Tony Shaw made a good point. That probably should have been Crisp as the logical matchup, which probably would have been good. And Bont just absolutely slaughtered us in the last quarter.
Probably like one of the best games that I've seen him play in a while. Like 4
And I think
quarters.
he got-
He was
Oh, as
quite
long as he
strong.
saved it for that night, that's important.
Yeah.
Do fuck all this week, Mike. But, you had your time. You won your grand final.
Yeah.
You got your Norm Smith medal.
Well, I think he really stepped up as captain, which is really important.
Well, interestingly, your 3 best players would have been Bont, Treloar,
Treloar.
and John Noble. 3 guys all touched the Collingwood. That was, honestly, sorry, that was the worst game I've seen anyone play. An established player. I'm not talking about someone coming in. Noble was he set up so many of their goals in his basic handballs and all that sort of stuff. And I think it was telling that when there was a sub, that McRae didn't take Bytel or Sullivan or Johnson. He went to Noble, which you think usually Noble would have been kept on. One of the
We did say on Noble. He didn't even know he was coming off. He even missed that. He even got that wrong.
Did you notice Noble's fuck-ups?
Yeah, well, I heard that after the game he got into the wrong car and drove to the wrong house.
Did you notice them?
Oh, I noticed one of them
Just
because my dad made a point because he's a Collingwood supporter.
Yeah.
Yeah, he made a point that he missed a handball from.
Well, your dad did.
Yeah.
Why
was
no good? What was he
Yeah.
doing? Did he recreate the moments on the couch?
I guess we're straight.
Alison,
Yes!
look at this one.
Yes, he does.
I'm really good.
You should have seen him at the grand
Watch
final.
me take this big mark over the cushions.
Well, he absolutely tackled me to the couch during the grand final in 2023 when they kicked a goal. So yeah, it's kind of scary.
Does it play on?
Yeah. Yeah.
Your dad sounds like a strange young man.
He's a Collingwood supporter, duh.
No, but I mean, no, but seriously, Bont blitzed us, and Trelaw had a really good game.
He wouldn't get a game for us though.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be amazing if anyone thinks that who supports Collingwood or goes for Collingwood that Trelaw wouldn't get a game in our. I'm not saying because of the injuries. I'm saying even in our best 18, he would easily get a game. How have you liked Trelaw since you've taken him?
I've really enjoyed seeing him play. Particularly
4 quarters.
Well, I've really enjoyed because I can see his progress and his mindset just because I've been listening to his podcast and with Josh Dunkley, which allows me to see how he actually plays. And
You watch a podcast to see how he plays.
I listened to his podcast. Did I not say that?
He plays a lot like a volume knob.
Yeah, but particularly when Josh Dunkley's not there, he's come into this
He's
role.
never there. He's at Brisbane.
Frack.
Oh, nerd.
Okay.
He makes pop culture references on the show. I mean, seriously.
Well, I can't swear. My grandma's going to be listening to this later.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
No, I've really enjoyed seeing Trelaw and answer your question because you're going to make me laugh.
No, I'm just thinking about something from the past which I won't repeat here. Not even,
Does it involve banana?
No. Could have. It was about 30 years ago.
There is a similarity, I see. Could you just go and put a beanie on?
Did you fraternize seedy bars in Port Melbourne?
No, oh my god.
Sorry, Gran. Yeah, so, yeah, alright, so I can't remember.
I really enjoy watching Trelaw, mostly just to mock my dad.
Trelaw mocks your dad.
When he kicks a goal, I can then be
Your
like...
dad kicks a goal and Trelaw
When
mocks him.
Trelaw kicks a goal, oh my goodness.
It's a complex household.
So,
You twist my words.
Oh man, I'm just very literal.
Just reporting the facts, man. It's
all
written down.
Yeah. So how'd you feel like?
Stick to the script.
Last quarter.
Yeah, with
games...
4 lines?
Yeah.
None of them are any good.
No.
I've used all the good ones.
1980.
No, the ones about a grand. So, alright, no. So bringing it back to seriousness. So like we're faded because of the plethora of inexperienced VFL players. Do you look at those VFL players and just sort of? I mean, I remember you made a relatively good point for a change post game, but it's very hard to judge them given the body, the structure around them because there's so much missing. So it's hard to tell how those players would stand up in probably a fuller list. But looking at them, like you sort of like think. I always who looks at players and go, how do you stand up when it's all going to shit? Because it's easy to stand up when it's going well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, look, I think, and don't take this the wrong way. Well, you can.
Maybe.
If we had a full list, we would have well and truly comfortably beaten Freo and the Dogs. Now, I think as much as you go out to the paddock and you train 48 times a week, you try and emulate a role, but playing it inside of the cauldron of a game is a different thing. And I think once you had that sort of, training, everything goes your way. It says there's not too much pressure coming in, but once you apply a little bit of pressure and how you react, it clearly dictated the way that some of the game panned out. that's the change that you can't really probably effectively replicate at training. However, this is valuable match experience. We'll only get better. We'll learn a lot from those moments.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. Didn't realise we had to coach yet.
I don't think Collingwood played badly. I think I actually...
thanks for saying
Yeah,
that.
no,
That's good.
I actually don't think.
You don't think?
It's easy to say that when you're a winner.
Yeah.
I know.
No,
Why don't you give me a nice paper cup and pour lemon juice in it?
Well, you happy with what the Dogs did? Because, like I said, you've been really critical of the Dogs for the last couple since 2017.
Well, since you got here.
Yeah.
I was really impressed with them. I go to this game against Collingwood. I was impressed. I would like to see more consistency though, because I don't want to get my hopes up.
So where's that? How come Bulldogs are inconsistent?
Is it Bevo's fault?
Maybe. Yeah.
Is
He
it
keeps changing the positions of players all the time, and it just doesn't make sense.
since he stopped wearing platform shoes?
Yeah,
That's when the problem started?
It. He doesn't go down on the field
Well, I hope
like your like your coach. He doesn't sit with the players in the...
Did something just buzz then?
Yeah.
That was my phone.
Yeah. Oh, fun in a live thing.
Sight gags.
I know.
This should come across really well on the podcast.
Yeah. So,
Oh look, another point Trell made. I'm inspired.
I think it was grand. Stop talking about me.
It was actually my sister.
Hi, sis. Alright, so you're happy with the Dogs, except for the consistency.
Yeah, I'd like to see more consistency.
And how are you going to do that?
By continuing to play 4 quarters.
Yeah, but I mean, why isn't that happening at the Dogs? I mean, not that this is the Bulldogs rant, but...
It's the Bulldog
Because I'm curious, like, for this game...
Let's rebrand ourselves and we might taste some success.
No, I'm just curious, because, like, for this game, I kept sort of hoping would, like, establish a lead and dominate them for a little bit, and they just held in the whole game, and then when it mattered, they ran over us, and I said, like, the problem, as far as I was concerned for Collingwood, is Nick Dacos was fantastic. I think Cameron was pretty good. I saw Chris was really highly rated. I didn't think he was as good as he's been rated. And then the few senior players we had out there just didn't do enough. And Darcy Moore sort of tried. Schultz should have kicked 6 or 7. He missed some sitters, which were just terrible. But then, guys like Quaynor, he sort of had a good little patch. Noble was, like I said, really bad. Markov did a couple of things, but that was it. I don't understand why he was playing forward. Would have been Sidebottom was really average. So you sort of lost a lot of input from the senior players, which left a lot to too few. And Nick Dacos. And then, Treloar was really, really good. That's the best game I've seen him play at the Dogs. And probably one of the best I've seen him play, including Collingwood. And then Bont was just fucking magnificent.
Do you think he's still riddled with spite?
I hope so. I'd be riddled with spite if the club treated me the way they treated him. I think that was one of the most appalling things I've seen in football. In terms of... He's done everything right by the club. He's back-ended his contract because they fucked up their salary cap and shit. And then when push comes to shove, the club's going, well, thanks for nothing. And Buckley, whether it was intentional or not, has said, well, we're getting rid of you because no one wants to play with you, pretty much. It's like, why wouldn't you be full of spite? When Bulldogs played Melbourne in the grand final a few years ago, that pretend grand final, which was in Perth, I wanted Bulldogs to win just simply so Treloar could experience flag success. Because, he didn't go to Richmond because he felt Collingwood was closer to a fucking flag. He obviously doesn't know anything about Victorian football.
He said it was the Australian flag in the end.
Yeah, but then, they unloaded him. We've won one, I hope he experiences success because he seems like a really, really, really good guy.
Well, this is a massive fucking Treloar love in there.
No,
just... You listen to players, you listen to someone like Jack Ginnivan, for example. So,
Not anymore.
No, but he comes out a couple of weeks ago, it's hard playing at Collingwood because of the structure. And it's like, well, you won the flag, you git, so what the fuck are you complaining about?
He won the flag doing very little.
Yeah. Probably, yeah. But then he's going, I got more freedom at Hawthorn and shit like that. And just
Does he get to stay up until 10 o'clock?
I don't know, but you get to see,
Can you watch PG films? I mean, how much more fucking freedom can you have?
I don't, but, you just sort of, he doesn't show any graciousness, and I think, we don't know why they got rid of him, but the club constantly backed him, even when he was fucking up and doing shit. And then for him to leave and now have a couple of shots at the club, I just find that pretty piss weak.
Well, his teammates seem to love him.
Oh, yeah.
One in particular.
Yeah. So, I mean, how did you feel about, like, the way Collingwood treated Jack Ginnivan? You must have been really shattered, you and your dad. Your dad must have, like, dived over a couch or something.
He tackled a lamp.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then he said the lamp ducked into it.
yeah, yeah, exactly. My dad didn't really have much of an opinion about it. He was.
Well, let me put it this way. So, Bulldogs won the flag in 2016.
Yeah.
And then Jake Stringer's gone like a year later. Josh Dunkley's gone a couple of years ago. So
There's something, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it's also like, for me, that 2023 flag that we've won, it's a shame that you're never going to sort of have that hub of players, because one's already gone in terms to another club, and then Murphy's retired. So you've immediately started disbanding it. Like, Bulldogs are the same thing. You look at Stringer, you think, fuck, why wouldn't you keep him? I don't know what's going on internally. So
Yeah, I think something just fell apart, honestly. And
I think someone fell into someone else. I think that was the bigger issue.
Ew.
That's going to come across really good on the podcast. Ew.
Sorry.
If only the phone had vibrated again.
It was the phone on the podcast. It definitely wasn't Dildo Doggins.
Or Stringer.
So,
Yeah.
what do you... No, Spook, any last thoughts in relation to the game?
No. Look, it was disappointing to lose, but probably not super surprising if that sort of doesn't overwrite what I said earlier. I think some of it we were always going to be up against it with the team that we're putting out there at the moment. They performed admirably. I'll give them that. You know, and in some aspects, with some of the younger players, you sort of think, I've seen fuck all of you running around in the VFL, but you look better playing at the AFL. That's going to obviously continue for a couple more weeks as we ride out the long and winding trip to the bye, when hopefully we start getting some blokes back. Although I think we have a couple coming back for the King's. Is it King's birthday? The Queen?
Elvis's birthday.
Elvis's birthday. The King.
Yeah.
Oh, a little less conversation, please.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so no, look, I mean, it's not doom and gloom or anything like that. You know, I'm just used to fucking winning. And drawing.
What about you? Final thoughts for the game, Alison?
Well, just going
No
back
pressure.
to that, I thought you guys were used to losing flags.
We make those jokes.
She sees one grand... Oh, so you saying... you actually saw her losing one, didn't you?
Yeah.
Oops. And it was humiliating too. It wasn't just
It
like
was
losing.
terrible, yeah.
Oh, you should times that by 10.
And that's because you didn't play Pat Lipinski in that side.
Yeah, oops.
Yeah. I mean, he would have been the 12-goal difference in that game.
Well, look, I do have a soft spot for Collingwood.
Is it Nan? Who's Nan Bayek for?
Bulldogs.
Yeah,
But she doesn't want to sit near my dad because he yells too much.
Oh, he tackles people.
Jeez, I hope both aren't listening or watching this.
Oh, they will be. Final thoughts on the game.
You're taking over now. Give her the paper. You do nothing with it.
You missed one point.
No, I'm going back to it.
I was impressed with the Bulldogs. I love the way that they come together as a team when they do come together as a team, and that's what I want to see.
So many lines I could use there.
I was thinking about the Beatles.
I was thinking about them coming together now. See the problem at the
when
Dogs.
Bevo's down on his knees.
Jeez. Well, they would stick together if they're coming together. So, the Sam Darcy coming into Brayden.
What a cheap shot.
So, what did you think that penalty should be?
I think they should have just completely rubbed him out for the next 16 years.
So, seriously?
That's the worst thing I've ever seen on the football field.
Really? You went about the 2018 grand final?
No, that's the second worst thing I've seen on the football field.
The 2011
no, I
grand
think
final?
it was a bit uncalled for. I mean, I didn't see... Well, the two of them were on their own. I didn't see a wide shot or anything on the TV or anything. I'm assuming that there was nothing or anyone coming around. I've seen the canning into the back. Do you think it was because of Maynard that was reserved for that sort of behaviour? Do you think that's the case? You've hated Maynard your entire life.
I know.
No, I've actually quite liked his.
No, I saw you came in, you were throwing darts at his Maynard posters.
I know, yeah.
Oh, I was. Yeah, I got it right. Right in the centre.
So what penalty would you have given him? Not Darcy, not Maynard.
This is his first offence, obviously. I don't think he's been reported before, has he? He's a nice kid. He's got a nana at home that he looks after. His dad wrestles him on the couch. It's all happening at the Darcy household. Look, probably, to be honest, I think 2 to 3 weeks would have been enough.
Alison is a dog supporter? Well,
I knew he was in trouble. I think 2 weeks, because 2 weeks is what it got, wasn't it? Yeah. So, considering it was just perhaps his first offence, and
yeah, I don't care.
I was just impressed with the turnaround that he did in the end. And
you said that you wanted to talk.
Well, when he turned around and cleaned him up.
No, with it afterwards, because he was.
Well, you're admiring the way that in the mid-air he turned and then used the hardest part of his body to try and send Maynard into next month.
Yeah, no.
They don't play by the rules, this lot.
No, well, how else are we supposed to win?
I said that to me is a piss weak act. To cannon into someone's back, you're not trying to spoil it. You're just going to hit him in the back.
Obvious. And
that would be like, I talked about Schultz hitting Blake Acres in the back of the head. That's worse because he's cannoned into him at full force. That should be like a 6 to 8 week penalty. I know there's fuckwits on message boards who claim it's not an issue unless you actually injure someone, but that is really, really dangerous what he's done.
Well, the way that they're coming down with the concussion rule at the moment, I think that if he had stayed down and actually was in some sort of trouble, he probably would have gotten more. Because
comparatively,
definitely the outcome dictates a lot of.
You compare it to like Peter Wright, who's gone for the mark and then cleaned up the Sydney guy, and Toby Green, same thing. They're actually contesting the ball. Darcy isn't contesting. He's just gone to take out Maynard. That's like that Jimmy Webster one earlier in the year. His sole intent has been to take out a player. And that's piss weak. And there's idiots on your favourite social media platform, X, who claim, now Maynard knows what Angus Brayshaw feels like. Like you're comparing those two instances, which are one's a football act, and the other one's just
a dog act.
Yeah, a dog. Yeah, bulldog act. But you were happy with the way Beveridge ripped into him. Dragged him onto the bench.
Gave him a talking to.
Said, "Why are you so tall?"
Did he put him on his back and tickle his tummy?
On the couch?
On the couch.
Well, they were singing
clearly
Come Together.
There was some. Clearly, there's some words that were had between the two of them.
Man.
Stop going for the man.
I mean, he had a good game otherwise.
He did. I was very impressed with the mental kind of turnaround with that.
Yeah.
Dog. Wow.
I like watching him play, Darcy. He's going to be an absolute gun. It does seem out of character what he did, I think. I don't think he's had any aggressiveness about him. I don't really.
Seemed quite...
There was the other guy who clipped Nick Dacos, and it was just a bullshit one, sort of, threw the arm back. And it felt like I remember watching, and I just said to the guys watching with, it feels like Beveridge has probably told them, go play aggressively. Maybe they got an experienced team.
I think Nick copped a fair bit of rough play. I mean,
I copped a lot around the congestion.
Yeah.
There was that one where he actually copped the clean hit. And it resulted in the free kick. And you see a lot of them in football, but it just felt like the Dogs have been told, go hard.
Though, didn't he? The guy who hit him?
Yeah, I think he did, yeah.
You mean reported?
Stand. It didn't really make sense until we saw the...
It's like listening to the Doggies out there.
Now the whole round of football's gone. What do you thought about the new holding the ball rule interpretation?
I really only watched half a game of football this week, so I wouldn't have a comment on it.
Alison, you watch like 6-7 games with your dad.
With the way that the rules are changing every 5 seconds, it's hard to really know. Because at some point you think that, they're holding the ball, and then all of a sudden they can do a full spin 360 kind of thing, and then, no, drop the ball and it's play on. So it really doesn't...
Oh, that's a consistency. Yeah. Typically, of AFL umpires, everyone's paying it at a different rate.
Do you know of too many sports that actually make changes like this wholesale in the middle of a season?
No, I think they stay...
I've got to give the AFL credit, because they actually came out and said, we're going to change the interpretation. They actually publicly announced it when generally they just do it, and they don't tell anyone. And I remember it was like 5-6 years ago where Geelong was playing West Coast over there before West Coast turned the shit, and they paid all these deliberates, and Chris got, shockingly, he was complaining about the umpiring post-game, and he just said, look, I don't blame the umpires. Someone's obviously told them to do it. But that's fine, but we should be told that's what they're going to be hot on. So, like, they've constantly changed rules or told umpires to enforce certain interpretations without publicly announcing it. So this time they've actually publicly announced it, probably to try and stop the sling tackle.
They took an ad out in the paper. It was good. And there was a commercial. Did you see it?
Yeah. Yeah, it featured Alison's nan.
And Bevo was a circus midget. Can you say midget these days?
No.
Height challenge person. That's what you called him, wasn't it?
Possibly, yeah. To his face.
Was it little arsehole or something? Did I hear that one as well? No, we like Bevo on this show.
I haven't said
Well,
anything.
some of us do.
No. Collingwood's got Melbourne on King's birthday.
Yeah, no, and Melbourne had a good win on the weekend, so we should take them quite easily.
Well, let me just ask you before you go on. So, losing to the Dogs dropped us out of the 8.
And then we got back in.
And then we went back in after Melbourne lost to Fremantle. So should we just keep losing games and see how high we can
I think
rise?
we can. I mean, we could be the first team to win a flag without winning another game for the rest of the year,
Yeah.
based on the results.
But we'll get better.
We'll get better. We learn a lot from that moment we're out of the 8.
Yeah. Or back out of it, because Essendon lost to Gold Coast.
Yeah, no, thanks, Bombers. You can't rely on them to do anything good.
Rely on them to lose. No, so what do you think King's birthday?
Well, coming into the game, before I watched I didn't watch it, I just looked at the scores, the D's game, I thought that we're ripe for a bit of a touch-up. But they've only won one game in the last 4, I think, Melbourne. Their form's been pretty bad, and it was shocking.
Well, to lose by 15 goals to a team which doesn't kick many goals generally, there's got to be some issue there. It can't just be we had a bad day, because that's a really fucking bad day. So it'd be interesting what might have happened behind the scenes.
What do you think happened? In a cubicle or something?
Yeah, potentially.
Was there an accident with the salt shaker?
Maybe Alison's nan ripped into him and just demoralised him.
Stop.
No. So what do you think, like, against Melbourne, the King's birthday?
Well, I think it's sort of the playing field's been evened a little bit now after that performance. I mean, they'll obviously come out wanting to atone for that, maybe, depending on how badly your intel is on them and the reasons why it happened.
Don't look at me, go on.
I was hoping you could add something to that. I think we'll get Hoskin Elliott back. That's game over there and then.
How will you know he's back?
Well, he was back last week. He amassed a possession. So who's due to come back?
I don't know. I didn't know anyone was due to come back.
They said Hosky's good to go. Howe's out for a while yet. Mio's out for a while.
What is it, Doggies? When he's coming back?
It was about 4 or 5 weeks from last week.
2028.
It was like a month from last week.
They haven't even seen him for 3 weeks. He's probably over in Bali.
And you get the rumours that Elliott's going to retire.
Is he?
Yeah.
Was it something you said?
Something Nan said.
Oh my god. She's a menace.
She's causing. She's causing issues.
She's all over the shop. Or maybe it's just Hoskin Elliott come back in. That's the golden child.
No, she's pretty dangerous. She's like the son of Sam, but she's the son of Nan.
She's been to Nan.
Well, if it was up to my dad, the entire Collingwood side would be on the bus because he doesn't think any of them will do good.
Where's the bus
that
going?
should make it easy for the D's.
Yeah.
Has he thought this strategy all the way through?
Not really. He thinks
Fucking get on the bus.
Where's the bus going?
To Nowhere's Village.
Well, they're already there, aren't they?
So it's the last bus to Clarksville.
So what do you think? I mean, you've sort of vacillated between a serious answer and...
Well, I think it comes down to 2 possible outcomes. We either win or we lose. Or we can go for another draw. What's the record number of draws in a season?
I don't know. We must be close.
I think... Well, you're going to know a lot about this game in the first 10 minutes, I reckon. If the D's are going to recreate their scintillating form from the Freo match and we get a good start, we could potentially just go gangbusters. Or if they have a good start, they could potentially go gangbusters.
Yeah, thanks.
It's yin and yang. No, I think,
who's in and outs? Because there's about 4 players I've dropped.
This is the first time in 16 years we got through a game without an injury.
That we know of.
Well, no, that's all right. There could be... Was there a hearse outside the ground this morning?
I don't know. No, I'm serious. Like, because you look at Pendlebury last week.
We won't be looking at him next week.
You and here, when the Chief was here, and we were both saying they were going to announce that later in the week, and they wish they did. They waited until they got the block of other 4 injuries out, and they announced that one. I mean, Kruger kicked 3 goals in the reserves in the VFL.
Well, that'd be at the moment that would be a handy in.
Yeah,
he's a what do you call him? Tall forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we occasionally.
Mason Cox is your tall forward.
No, that's a rumour. No. he's a ruckman pretending to be a forward, pretending to be a ruckman.
Pretending to be a basketballer as well.
No, he's a basketball.
Yeah, he doesn't do that much more. I mean, it's too hard, he reckons, that oval ball gets stuck in the ring.
Ins and outs. Kruger.
Oh, yeah, Kruger, Hoskinelli will come in.
Johnson, would you persist? And
Oh,
avoid?
fuck no. I think I used to love watching him play, and now he just does my head in for a number of reasons. I don't think that he's going to turn it around in a week. I don't think they'd persist with him, would they? They'll surely bring Kruger in his place.
I'd persist with him, but I'd make him the relief for ruck. I'd bring Kruger in. I'd bring... I'd stay with Johnson. I'd drop Dean. I'd put Frampton down back.
Yeah, I'd definitely put Frampton back down.
I think it's fast that they've moved him out of... The one thing they fixed this year was the defensive six once they put him in there. And they've actually robbed the strength and turned it back into a weakness by moving him. And he's not a great forward. He's not a great ruck. So it's like, if you're just going to have a body V, you might as well just play anyone there. And Johnson actually running around might give him a bit of confidence because...
You might just confuse someone.
No, because a few times he actually looked okay was when he was leading all the way up to the wing and sort of getting away from the forward line and just...
Yeah, but that was 20 minutes before the game started.
Yeah. No, I'm just... I persevere with Johnson just simply because... I mean, I've said for 2 years he should be playing defence, but I'd persevere with him just because I think you just bring him straight in and drop him straight out. You might as well just go, look, you might as well pack your bags because that will totally finish what's left of his confidence.
What about Nobes? You give him a second chance?
Oh, he'd stay.
22nd chance? I think he definitely will. There's no question about that.
If I was McRae, if I was coach, I'd do what I just said. Frampton down back, Johnson and Kruger up forward, side bottom up forward, get Mark off the fuck out of the forward line. Who do you think he is? Put him back in defence and just sort of go back to sort of what you know works. Side bottom would be a much better forward than he is a defender. This bullshit that like everyone's raving, oh look how good he played at half back. You know, he dominated. It's fucking against West Coast. I would have got... Well, not me, because I'm a gun. But you would have got 25 kicks against West Coast.
Not me, because I'm a gun. You would have got 25 kicks against West Coast.
Yeah, you sexist pig. Who do the Dogs play this week?
Take it out of the
Brisbane. Brisbane.
Here or there?
Here, Marvel.
I'd say they're playing away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you find travelling to Marvel difficult?
Yeah.
You're taking your dad to that game?
No.
Nan?
My sister.
Ask your nan if she wants to go. Nan, will you go with Alison to this game?
And if she says no, she can go out with you again.
No, yeah, okay.
Yes, Brisbane. Brisbane's sitting 13th.
Why you need to look at it? You told us 4 times before you picked up the phone.
Well, I needed to know my stats. Yeah. It's at Marvel, and it's on Friday.
You'll probably win that.
Yeah.
I think Brisbane have pretty much packed
Shot.
the toys away.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think the Doggies will play finals this year.
Will they?
Did they play finals last year?
No.
No, they got knocked out.
Oh, that'll stop them.
No.
All of them? Like at once?
No, yeah,
Was it
no.
a concussive wave?
No, they didn't. I was actually glad they didn't. Oops.
You played the year before because we got you into the finals by knocking Carlton out.
Yes, thanks for that.
Oh, we did nothing, so I don't know why you're thanking us. It's worthless.
Yeah.
I think you said to us pre-show, Beveridge is only signed again on the back of those finals appearances. I can't believe how mean you are to Beveridge. Spook and I have loved every coach at Collingwood.
It's true, we haven't had a bad word to say about him.
No.
While a camera's been recording.
Certainly haven't started on the EGN because we didn't like the way one was going.
Look, I believe that if the Bulldogs played the way that they did against Collingwood, that they definitely have a chance against Brisbane. So.
A chance against Brisbane. If you play the way you play against us against Brisbane, you'll smash them by 14 goals.
Well, they should, but as I said, I don't trust the Bulldogs sometimes.
So where does that come from? It's just from Beveridge, so because he's been a coach. So you're a younger supporter. So Beveridge would have been... How long has he been around? It's been like 10 years now, isn't he?
Yes.
I mean, he won the flag in 2016.
16, and he
he'd
came
been there a couple of years before that.
Yeah.
16, yeah.
Yeah, so if you're on the flag in 16, 17 isn't before that. 17 is after that.
I was like, I questioned that. 15.
Yeah, so he's been, 9-10 years.
Yeah.
19? So, yeah, but just sort of saying, all your distrust would have to come from him because prior to that, the coaches you had weren't doing anything. So you would have distrusted them because you were just consistently shit. Who was the coach before that? McCarthy?
I think it was Terry Wallace.
Oh, he was a couple of coaches before that.
Was he?
Yeah.
I should take more notice of the Dogs.
Yeah. So where's the Dogs going to end up this year? This isn't Oppenheimer. You can just sort of...
I would like to see them in the 8 again. I maybe the bottom half of the 8.
You like to see him in the bottom half, yeah. I'd like to see him in the top half, yeah.
I would,
You just
but
aim low.
I
think this is indicative of why
I
you're an
aim low.
underachieving club.
I aim low because I don't want
to suit Beveridge.
because I don't want to get my hopes up. Because it's being a Western Bulldogs supporter. If you get your hopes up and you get high, it just.
I thought that was the problem at Melbourne.
No one said anything about drug use at Melbourne.
You just get really depressed when they play really badly. So because there's no in between with the Bulldogs. They either play really really good or they just the inconsistency gets them to a bottom side. So it's really sad.
No, there's nothing like
Well,
it's not really sad for that many. I mean, how many boys you got? About 12? It's like you, your nan.
What? There's 10 more then.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Your sister.
I reckon we can name them all.
Yeah. It's like romper.
Ted Whitten, does he still follow him?
Yeah. Who's
what about Simon Beasley?
Russell Gilbert?
Oh, no, he's not well these days.
Isn't he?
No.
Oh,
No.
because
Don't make jokes about him.
No,
Don't make jokes about the comedian.
No, just because he's following the Dogs. Any final thoughts at all, Spook?
No, other than that fact, I think we'll lose by 10 goals this week.
And what do you think about the Dogs? Any final thoughts? Or you can say about Collingwood. You can say a goodbye to your nan.
Or say goodbye to Hollywood.
final thoughts about the Bulldogs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm impressed. I am impressed with what I've seen the last couple of weeks. I just hope that they can continue that. And then I won't be depressed.
Oh, I think we all do.
Yeah.
I think we're all heavily invested now.
But
here
terms
on the Bulldog Bark.
I think the competition needs mediocre Bulldogs.
Yeah. In terms of Collingwood, I really think that...
Oh, so you want to be one of us now?
Well, yes. Yeah, well, I mean, you won the grand final. I was back.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
What's that word? Perennials. Those were the days.
Yeah.
Or day.
Don't lose the next one, yeah?
Yeah. The odds would be pretty...
The odds are against you.
Would be pretty good.
You gotta get
That won't happen.
So is that your final thought?
That's-
Don't lose. All right, that's it for us. Two of us will
You
be
never-
back next week.
Oh, I hope you two have a good show next week.
So I haven't had a
You
date.
never let me finish.
Yeah, go on. Finish.
Let's finish now.
I haven't had a week off since we started in 2018.
Well,
You take every 6 week off.
tell it to Nan.
Oh,
Give
all
her-
right,
give her a
that's
ring
it
after
from
this.
us.
You should reconcile.
Later. Like, subscribe. And that's just directed at you, Nan.
She's lucky because I could have been a Collingwood supporter. She got to me before my dad.
All the stuff you told me before, I think you're unlucky that you're not a Collingwood supporter.
Yeah, that's true.
You could have been on this show permanently. Later.
Thanks for watching. We should probably do this with that record button pressed next time.
I'll check if it's on.
Awkward.